I am Marc Tapang, and today I am going to present the chapter 1 of this paper entitled The Effect of Emotional Intelligence on Job Performance in the Workplace. According to ISA 2018, change is always related to some form of emotions because people enjoy comfort. However, when something is changed, the comfort is affected as well as the emotion. It may be the cause of uneasiness and uncertainties. Furthermore, when this change affects the assumptions, values, and beliefs, and a huge part of personalities, people accept the proposed status and the uneasiness are changed. The purpose of this study was to determine the effect of emotional intelligence on the job performance of the employees working in milk shops. The researchers sought to answer the following question. The main problem was, what is the effect of emotional intelligence on the job performance of employees? And the specific questions were, what is the profile of respondents in terms of gender, emotional intelligence, and job performance? What component of emotional intelligence is the highest and the lowest of employees? Is there a significant difference of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance? Is there a significant difference of the component of emotional intelligence of the employees? Is there a significant difference of job performance of employees? The first model was the ability model by Salovey and Mayer. This model stated that emotional intelligence is the ability to accurately perceive, understand, and reflectively regulate emotions to promote intellectual growth. This model supported the study because it was stated that emotional intelligence is correlated with the measure of intellectual quotient and can be measured through performance like job performance. Second, the mixed model by Daniel Goleman. This model combines the emotional intelligence qualities and personality trait. Lastly, the trait model by Petrides and his colleagues. Emotional intelligence is viewed as person's self-impression of his or her emotional capacity. In this paper, the variables were the emotional intelligence and job performance. The emotional intelligence attributes were self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. While the attributes of the job performance were leading performance, strong performance, solid performance, building performance, and not meeting performance. The researchers used cause and effect as their research design. The questionnaires used for emotional intelligence was the questionnaire from Leadership Toolkit, and for the job performance, it was the questionnaire from Weight Management Program by University of Michigan Health System. The output of this paper was the effect of emotional intelligence on job performance in the workplace. There were 3 hypotheses in this paper. First null hypothesis was, there is no significant difference on the effect of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance. While the alternative hypothesis was, there is a significant difference on the effect of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance. Second null hypothesis, there is no significant difference on the components of emotional intelligence of the employees. While the alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference on the components of emotional intelligence of the employees. Third null hypothesis, there is no significant difference on job. While the alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference on the components of emotional intelligence of the employees. Third null hypothesis, there is no significant difference on job performance on the employees. While the alternative hypothesis was, there is a significant difference on job performance of the employees. Additionally, self-awareness was conceptually defined by Chignell 2018 as the ability of an individual to understand and know his or her mood and emotion and how these affect others. Cherry 2019 again defined self-awareness as the ability to become aware of oneself. She also defined self-regulation as the critical part that deals with the emotion and feelings. Chignell's 2018 also defined motivation as the reason for one to seek objectives for personal reasons rather than thinking of having a reward. Chignell also described empathy as the capacity of a person to distinguish others' motivation, which is essential for building and leading teams effectively. Moreover, social skills are the capacity to build a relationship and create networks. It was defined by Chignell also. In this paper, emotional intelligence was operationally defined as the score measured through the Leadership Toolkit questionnaire, while job performance was conceptually referred as the degree of a person to do his or her job well. This definition was from Schustarian 2013. Moreover, it was also defined by Al-Mahdi 2017 as the exertion made by an individual in his or her organization. He or she works in Kewal Marani and Sheikh 2020. It stated that job performance evaluated whether an individual performed his or her task well. This research paper benefited employees, managers, organization, and future researchers. For the employees, the results could help them know what attributes of emotional intelligence should they be focusing on. This would be them know that their emotional intelligence could affect their job performance. While as for the managers, the study could help them improve their emotional intelligence, especially when expressing themselves to their employees. For the organization, this paper could help them improve their productivity, relationship, and organizational commitments, which could lead to success. And as for the future researchers, the results of this study could be a reference for their research. Research and methodology. The research used cause and effect as their research design to determine if emotional intelligence affect job performances of the employees. Researchers randomly choose 12 milk tea shops at the commercial areas in Bukawi, Bulacan. Sambo, Mang Chaa, Embelicious, Milk Terrific, Your Cravings, Bay Milk Tea, and Happy Cup had only one respondent each. Shops such as Sakura Hanami, the Habnab Milk Tea, and Felices had 2 respondents, while Bombos Tea and Coffee had 3 respondents. Lastly, I Love Milk Tea had 4 respondents. The researcher asked the consent of the management to answer the questionnaire given regarding the emotional intelligence and job performance. The questionnaire used for emotional intelligence was the questionnaire from Leadership Toolkit, and for the job performance, it was the questionnaire from Weight Management Program by University of Michigan Health System. After data had been gathered, the researchers computed the emotional intelligence based on the answer of the respondents. They determined what attributes got the highest and lowest scores. As for the job performance, the researchers determined the Likert scale using the scores from the job performance questionnaire. The statistical tool used by the researchers were frequency, percentage, distribution, and the weighted mean for the descriptive statistical analysis, while analysis of one variance ANOVA was used as the inferential statistic to determine if emotional intelligence affect the job performance of the employees.
Good day, my name is Gelliane Paras from Group 11, and I will be discussing the Chapter 4, which is the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. So, our study is about the effects of emotional intelligence on job performance in the workplace. So, we have our first table on this chapter, which is the table 3, and it's all about the frequency and percentage distribution of employees in terms of gender. So, out of 20 respondents, we have the 8 or 40% of the respondents are male, while 12 or 60% of respondents are female. So next, frequency and percentage distribution is in terms of emotional intelligence. So under emotional intelligence, we have self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And the remaining are the combination of emotional intelligence. So combination of emotional intelligence are empathy and social skills, motivation and social skills, self-awareness and empathy, self-awareness and motivation, and lastly, self-awareness, motivation, and social skills. So, the combinations of emotional intelligence are in twos or threes. So, the highest earlier in the frequency and percentage distribution of emotional intelligence is social skills, which is the employees or rather the respondents are high in social skills, which is 6 or 30% of them are high in social skills. And next is chapter 5, which is the frequency and percentage distribution of job performance. So under job performance, we have the leading performance, strong performance, solid performance, building performance, and not meeting expectations. So, in strong performance, we have 10 or 50% of the employees are high in strong performance, while 5 or 25% of them are high in leading performance and solid performance. And the building performance and not meeting expectations are 0 in respondents. So next table is table 6, which is the weighted mean of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance. So we pick the respondent who are high in leading performance, strong performance, and solid performance, and then computed their emotional intelligence, and that's how we got their weighted mean on emotional intelligence. So our next table is weighted mean of emotional intelligence of the employees. So like I said earlier, we have the components of emotional intelligence, which are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So the scores of self-awareness is 36.7, self-regulation is 33.9, motivation is 32.95, empathy is 36.15, and lastly, the social skills is 36.25. So this is the interpretation. So next, we have the weighted mean distribution of job performance. So like I said also earlier, job performance are leading performance, strong performance, solid performance, building performance, and not meeting expectations. So the score of leading performance is 9.2. Next is strong performance, which is 7.8. Next is the solid performance, which is 5.6. And then the building performance and the expectations are 0. Next, table 9 is the weighted mean distribution of the attributes of emotional intelligence of the employees. So this shows the scores of each of the respondent and their weighted mean, and also the weighted mean of each of the components of emotional intelligence. So we have our average weighted mean, which is 36.7. So we are now here in the results of ANOVA of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance. So As you can see here, there are sum of squares, degree of freedom, mean squares, the computed f, the p-value, which is the probability value, and the critical f. So, how do we know if it is null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis? Now, that is based on the computed f and critical f. So, the rule here is if the computed f is less than the critical f, then the null hypothesis is accepted and the alternative hypothesis is rejected. While if the computed f is more than the critical f, then the null hypothesis is rejected and then the alternative hypothesis is accepted. So the null hypothesis of this ANOVA here is that there is no significant difference on emotional intelligence in terms of job performance, while the alternative hypothesis is there is a significant difference of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance. So, as you can see here, we have the computed F, which is the 0.017754, while the critical F here is 5.192168. So, which means the computed F is less than the critical F, and therefore, the null hypothesis is rejected, and the alternative hypothesis is, rather, the null hypothesis is accepted, and then the alternative hypothesis is rejected. So, which means there is no significant difference of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance. Next is the result of ANOVA of the component of emotional intelligence of the employees. So, we have here we use the weighted mean of emotional intelligence, and each of them have their average weighted mean of 36.7 from the table 9, and the weighted mean of emotional intelligence from the table 7. So we use these two to make an ANOVA, and the result of the computed F is the 0.614024, while the critical F is 5.192168, which means the computed F is less than the critical F. So therefore, the null hypothesis was accepted, and the alternative hypothesis rather is rejected. So which means there is no significant difference of the components of emotional intelligence in terms of the employees, I mean. So next is the results of ANOVA of job performance of the employees. So here we use the weighted mean of job performance, which is from the table 8, and the weighted mean of all the employees of their job performance scores, which is the 7.2. So, we use this data to make an ANOVA, and the results of the computed F and critical F is that the computed F is 0.764494, while the critical F is 5.192168. So, meaning the computed F is less than the critical F, then therefore, the null hypothesis is accepted while the alternative hypothesis is rejected. Thus, this ANOVA has, rather, the job performance has no significant difference in employees. So next, we are here in chapter 5, which is the summary of findings, conclusion, and recommendation. The first question of the summary finding is that what is the profile of the respondents in terms of gender, emotional intelligence, and job performance. Now, this was based on the statement of the problem from the chapter 1. On the specific problem, specifically. So, the question was answered from the frequency and percentage distribution from the chapter 4. So, I repeat, the male respondents are 8 or 40%, while the female respondents are 12 or 60%. And now we have the emotional intelligence, which is the self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And then which is the social skills is the component that are high in employees. The highest component, which is it has 6 of 30% of respondents are high in social skills. And then next is the job performance, which has the leading performance, strong performance, solid performance, and leading performance and not meeting expectations. So the strong performance have 10 or 50% of respondents are high in, while the 5 or 35% of respondents are high in leading performance and solid performance, while the leading performance and not meeting expectations have no respondents. Next. So, in which component of emotional intelligence are the highest employees? So, based from the weighted mean, employees are high in self-awareness, which has the score of 36.7. And next, which component of the emotional intelligence are lowest of the employees? So, the lowest, based on the weighted mean again, the lowest is the motivation, which has the score of 32.95. Next, is there a significant difference on emotional intelligence in terms of job performance? So, that was answered by our statistical tool using ANOVA. So, it answers that there is no significant difference of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance. Next, is there a significant difference of the components of emotional intelligence of the employees? So, it was also answered by the ANOVA. And the answer is there is no significant difference of component of emotional intelligence of the employees. And last specific problem, is there a significant difference of job performance of the employees? And the answer is there is no significant difference of job performance of the employees. And it was also based on the statement of the problem. And now the conclusion one is that answered the question that what is the problem what is the profile of respondents in terms of gender, emotional intelligence, and job performance. So that answered our question from the summary of findings. And now I'm going to explain it why gender is related to the emotional intelligence. So, according to Hyatt et al. 2016, the mean scores of female are higher than the male. So, this states that the females grow more expertly than males. So, this is according from a study that was conducted by Hyatt et al. So, but regarding the emotional intelligence and job performance, that was based from our questionnaires. Next conclusion that answered the question in which component of emotional intelligence is the highest. And the highest is self-awareness, which has a score of 36.7. And that was based on the weighted mean, and you can see it on the chapter 4 tables. And also here, in which component of the emotional intelligence is the lowest, and the answer is the motivation, which has the 32.9, and that was also based from the weighted mean and not any studies. Next is the conclusion 3. Conclusion 4, which answers the question, is there a significant difference of emotional intelligence in terms of job performance? So, according to Vidya 2020, they have a study called the Study on the Impact of Emotional Intelligence on Job Performance of the Banking Sector Employees. So, their study states that there is no impact of emotional intelligence on the job performance of the banking sector employees. This is the discussion. Next is conclusion 5, which answers the question, is there a significant difference of the component of emotional intelligence? The emotional intelligence of the employees. So this is the answer. Wait. Yeah. So according to Box 2017, students who have more EI, or rather emotional intelligence, states their study that students have more emotional intelligence are stressed out on their school works. And next is conclusion 5, that Box states that students have more EI are more pressured on their school works. Sorry for the error. And next, this is the discussion. Next is the conclusion 6. The conclusion 6 answers that, is there a significant difference of job performance of the employees? And the answer according to Pearson 2017, negative emotions drove them to displace bad feeling into their organization, and that will affect their job performance, and that will result to low job performance in their organization. Excuse me. Next, chapter 5 is the recommendation. This recommendation involves the employees, managers, and organization, which is based on the significance of the study. So, in using this research, they will be more aware of their emotional intelligence, and they will also encourage to participate themselves in programs of emotional intelligence, so that they will be more aware of it. And next is for the managers, they will be concerned of emotional intelligence of their employees. So they will encourage more to develop their emotional intelligence as to improve their job performance in their workplace. So for the organization, they will make the employees also aware of their emotional intelligence by giving out the questionnaire, and that will identify on what component of emotional intelligence are they doing it, or are they dominant with, I mean. So suggestions for for future researchers is that they can use this research to suggest to conduct a study of emotional intelligence with another variable aside from the job performance. So, or they can develop this, or they can improve this research in with a better results. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening to our research.